8:45. The news edited by Lakshman Fonseca, read by Chagi Dabare. Headlines. A special traffic plan Colombo today to control festival traffic. Over 10,000 cases of dengue infections recorded in the month of December alone. The Excise Department is tightening its grip on illegal liquor collection. The National Hospital advises people to be cautious when lighting firecrackers. 2024 voters list registration is to start tomorrow. Pope Francis will once again address crowds in St. Peter's Square on 1st of January as part of the traditional Holy Mass. Now the news in detail. A special traffic plan has been deployed by Sri Lanka Police today in order to avoid inconvenience during the 31st night. The operation mainly focused on Peta, Slave Islands and Kolpiti areas to facilitate the public coming for the major entertainment events scheduled in Colombo tonight. Several parking slots have also been arranged to park vehicles, including a special shuttle service arranged by Sri Lanka Tourism. The police said the Acting Inspector General of Police has issued directives to senior police officers and police OICs to develop a comprehensive security program ensuring the safety of participants. Additionally, traffic officers will also be deployed to manage potential traffic congestion effectively. Specific instructions have also been given to mobilize the police special task force officers and triforces personnel promptly if their assistance is required to maintain order and security. The police also urge the public to avoid activities such as drunken driving, overspeeding and reckless driving to minimize road accidents. Over 10,000 cases of dengue infections have been recorded in the month of December alone, bringing the total number of infections reported in 2023 to 87,078. Accordingly, 10,600 novel dengue cases were witnessed within this month alone, with the highest number of infections being recorded from the Colombo, Gampaha and Kalutara districts. As per health officials, from the 87,078 dengue cases, 39,543 cases were registered in the Western Province. Accordingly, Gampaha district saw 18,401 dengue cases, while Colombo district was not too far behind with a total of 16,020 cases. The Kalutara district followed by 5,122 cases in total. Meanwhile, several cases were also observed from the Puttalam and Kandy districts. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health said a total of 62 MOH areas have been categorized as high-risk zones. The Excise Department is tightening its grip on illegal liquor collection in response to the recent VAT increase. Excise Commissioner and spokesperson Kapila Kumarasinghe confirmed that officials have received directives to step up targeted raids. He said in light of the recent value-added tax increase, the Excise Department is intensifying its efforts to curb illegal liquor activities. Kapila Kumarasinghe, the Excise Commissioner, said that directives have been issued to officials to escalate the frequency and intensity of targeted raids. He added this strategic response by the department underscores the recognition of potential challenges arising from the VAT hike and the necessity to address unlawful practices related to liquor collection. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. National Hospital, Colombo Chief Nurse Training Officer Pushpa Ramya Disoisa says the number of firecracker-related incidents usually increase during every festive season in the country. She said people should keep in mind to minimize these accidents, and adults should remember not to light firecrackers while holding them in their hand, and also not to let small children light firecrackers. She told the media that young children should light crackers under the observation of their parents or elders, she stressed. She also told the people not to bathe in rivers, streams, etc. while risking their lives as the water levels are rising due to the heavy rain. 2024 voter list registration is to start tomorrow. Election Commissioner Chairman RMAL Ratnayaka said that the relevant instructions have already been issued. The 2024 voter roll registration was initially planned to commence from February 1st. The chairman of the Election Commission said the registration process expedite to the upcoming presidential election in 2024. The 2024 voters list registration will be available in public soon.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala.
44 Sri Lankans who were in different prisons across the United Arab Emirates have been pardoned by royal order. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the United Arab Emirates has formally conveyed to the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Abu Dhabi that these Sri Lankan prisoners received pardon by the royal order. They have been pardoned to mark the occasion of the 52nd National Day of the UAE that fell on 2nd December. The pardoning of the Sri Lankan prisoners comes in the wake of President Ranil Wickremesinghe's recent visit to the UAE to attend the COP28 and in the context of the strong bilateral relations between Sri Lanka and the UAE. These 44 Sri Lankans who have received the royal pardon will be repatriated to Sri Lanka by the government of the United Arab Emirates in due course. That ends the main news.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala.
This is Watchlight.
The Mahaweli Authority cautioned the public against entering rivers due to strong currents resulting from overflowing reservoirs. The authority said the recent heavy rains in the central hills of the country have led to 8 reservoirs, including the Victoria, Rantabe and Randenigala reservoirs, reaching full capacity. As a precautionary measure, all sluice gates across various reservoirs, including the 6 at the Lunugambehera Reservoir, have been opened. A spokesman for the Mahaweli Authority emphasized the dangers associated with the heavy currents, adding that there is a significant risk of people being sucked into the sluice gates. The authorities have called upon people to exercise extreme caution and refrain from venturing into rivers until the water levels subside. That was the Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Headlines: Pope Francis will once again address crowds in St. Peter's Square on 1st of January as a part of the traditional Holy Mass. The World Health Organization says over 1 million children in Afghanistan are facing severe malnutrition. Mexico and the United States have agreed to strengthen efforts to regulate border crossing. And now the world news in detail. Pope Francis will once again deliver the annual New Year's Day message on January 1st from the Vatican. Named the Mass for the Solemnity of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Mother of God, it will begin at 10 a.m. local time in the Vatican Basilica. After the Mass, the traditional Angelus blessing from St. Peter's Square will take place at 12 p.m. local time. After the Mass, Pope will go to Peter's balcony to deliver his papal blessing to the watchful crowd at St. Peter's Square, weather permitting, of course. In 2020, the head of Catholic Church was forced to give the Anglicans blessings from the papal library due to poor weather. Pope Emeritus Benedict died on New Year's Eve at the age of 95, causing thousands of Catholics to gain in St. Peter's Square to remember the former leader of the Church. Pope Francis entrusted the soul of the late Benedict to the Blessed Virgin Mary. The World Health Organization said that over 1 million children in Afghanistan are facing severe malnutrition. According to Tedros Adhanom, the Director General of WHO, they need $185 million to fight against malnutrition. He also wrote on his X that 30% of the total Afghanistan population faces acute food insecurity, and about 1 million children are severely malnutritioned, and 2.3 million are suffering from moderate acute malnutrition. He said WHO needs $185 million to continue providing medicine and supporting hospitals to prevent more Afghan children and women die of malnutrition and the consequences of food insecurity. The Ministry of Public Health said that the number of malnutrition mothers and children in the country has slightly increased compared to past years. Mexico and United States have agreed to strengthen efforts to regulate migration, officials said on Thursday. The two countries' governments issued a joint statement after Mexican president received top U.S. officials, including Secretary of the State Antony Blinken and the Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro. Mexico's president told reporters that the U.S. had agreed to keep border crossings open. He said the crossings for the railway and the border bridges are already being open to normalize the situation. However, earlier this month, U.S. authorities closed two rail bridge crossings on the border between Mexico and the southwestern state of Texas for several days in an attempt to curb irregular arrivals. Legal crossings have also been suspended at several vehicle and pedestrian entry points in Texas as well as in California. That ends the world news.
Development news.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Plantation Industries is now taking steps to cultivate king coconut as an export crop. Minister of Agriculture said there is a good demand in the United Arab Emirates for king coconut from Sri Lanka, and 200 containers of king coconuts are exported to the country a month. A king coconut from Sri Lanka sells for the equivalent of 2,500 rupees in the UAE coastal regions. Agriculture Minister said. He added that demand had recently tripled. He added many countries have tried to grow king coconut, but all those efforts have failed, and the tastiest ones in the world are the Sri Lankan Tambili. That ends the development news.
Moving on with sports news.
David Warner is set to enjoy his dream Test farewell as Australia named an unchanged squad of 13 for the third and final Test against Pakistan at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Warner has had his Test circle on his calendar for several months now as his final match in the famous baggy green in front of a home crowd, and it is a wish he will receive. The New Year's Test will bring the curtain down on a remarkable career in the red ball format for one of Australia's finest openers, and Warner will no doubt hope to avoid similar scores to that of the Boxing Day Test. Chair of selectors George Bailey was looking forward to toasting Warner and hoped Australia would complete the trifecta of victories in the series against Pakistan. Although the Test series has been wrapped up thanks to the victory in Melbourne, the Aussies also opted to stick with the same bowling attack, with cult hero Scott Boland once again on standby. The New Year's Test at the SCG gets underway on January 3rd. And that was the sports news.
On the first day of the new year 2024, when you make your first deposit in any SPE, you will receive a token gift. May this new year bring you happiness, joy, and abundance of savings. National Savings Bank.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
And in business news, the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka has issued a warning to the public to confirm TRCSL registration when purchasing mobile phones. Menaka Pathirana, the Compliance Director of TRSCL, advised individuals to verify that the phone in question in TRSCL registered before making a purchase. To confirm if a mobile phone is registered with the TRSCL, a short message can be sent with the IMEI number of the phone. And that ends the business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
On the first day of the new year 2024, when you make your first deposit in any SPE, you will receive a token gift. May this new year bring you happiness, joy, and abundance of savings. National Savings Bank.
And now in economic news.
The Ministry of Agriculture says prompt actions are being taken to promote export agriculture in Sri Lanka. The ministry said measures will also be taken to develop the quality of Sri Lanka tea, and the ministry has also installed a new department for promoting cinnamon cultivation. The Minister of Plantation, Mahinda Amaraveera, stated that the country is currently earning a large income from the export of tea, rubber and cinnamon products. The minister said that the ministries would extend its fullest support to the President's program to develop the country's manufacturing sector, and that the present government has a definite long-term plan to develop the country's manufacturing sector and the export agriculture. And that was an economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, to conclude with the weather report, Met Department predicts showers or thundershowers will occur at times in eastern and Nuwara provinces and in Polonnaruwa, Matale, Nuwara and Hambantota districts. Several spells of showers will occur in Northern Province and in Anuradhapura and Kandy districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at several places elsewhere of the island after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy showers above 75 mm are likely at some places in western, Sabaragamuwa, southern and Nuwara provinces and in Ampara and Batticaloa districts. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in western, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces during the morning. Prior to concluding the news, let's look at the headlines. A special traffic plan, Colombo today to control festival traffic. Over 10,000 cases of dengue infections recorded in the month of December alone. The Excise Department is tightening its grip on illegal liquor collection. The National Hospital advises people to be cautious when lighting firecrackers. 2024 voter list registration is to start tomorrow. Pope Francis will once again address crowds in St. Peter's Square on 1st of January as a part of the traditional Holy Mass. And that was the final news broadcast, the main news broadcast from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. It's precisely 9:01 in the evening. A very good evening to you.